tell you we're bringing the man himself into the studio. Well, so remember we have the outgoing president. We had him in the studio talking about Ben Mensah. He joined us in the studio. He joined us, I think about a week ago. And then on Friday, we did have the aspirant also for the presidency in the studio as well. And that was on Friday. And then we're having yet to be honored again by Mr. Richard Akpokavie. I want to talk about Richard Akpokavie. For most of us, we call him Richie. You should guess his age, and we call him Richie. Really? So this is a gentleman. When it comes to hockey, he's seen it all. He's a private legal practitioner as well. He is vying to be the next president for the Ghana Olympic Committee. Richie, good to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much. Really a pleasure to be here.
I wanted to leave you in the arms of Monica, I said.
You wanted to leave him in my hands.
Exactly.
But here is the KC, viewers, listeners. The man is an Arsenal fan. I'm a Real Madrid fan. So today, it would
have been interesting because of what is going to happen this evening. So you should have left us. Then we talk about GOC. Then we talk about Arsenal and Real Madrid as well.
Certainly, but let me just ask you before we delve into yes. Ghana Olympic Committee and all that. Let me ask you tonight, what are your expectations?
Oh, we'll qualify. That's all I want, and that's all I'm ready for.
Everybody is saying
your face is changed.
And my face, because everybody is saying Real Madrid will win, but as to qualify, it means we are scoring.
Of course,
we are winning, but the aggregates and everything, we are not getting there. We are closing the stadium today.
I know it's formidable. That's why you win. That's the only reason why you win.
Right.
But to qualify,
it's a tall order.
Now what?
If you had been 1-0, I would have, but 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
Oh, we've done it before.
I know, but not
against us now.
To Chelsea, we've done it. I think to Man City. Yeah, Man City we did. So you mean this is Arsenal?
This is Arsenal, and not any Arsenal. This is the Arsenal of now.
Yeah.
I'm only being merciful because it's our very own in the Thomas Party. But then, anyway, see, let's move away from football. Let's do something. It's all about the Ghana Olympic presidency, who is vying. Ben Mensah, like Joel told you, is stepping down. And now we are having new sets of people or candidates. And Mr. Akpokavie happens to be one of them. But first, let's ask him. I know, perhaps if you are not a lover of hockey or something, you wouldn't know him that much. The man himself is here. Let him tell us, who is Mr. Richard Akpokavie?
That's a big question. Well, I was born 65 years ago. This May, 65 years ago.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. So, but I've been involved in sports. I was born in Accra, but lived in Tema. I still live in Tema. Went to school in Tema. Ended up in Achimota School, University of Ghana, and then the law school, and then became a private legal practitioner. I've been practicing now for the last 37 years, I believe. So I should tell you, I'm an old man, really.
Yeah.
But in sports, in terms of sports, I mean, Tema, I played Colts, Becca Stars, Dumas Babies. And then, when you go to secondary school at that time, you are exposed to all kinds of sports. Nice. Cricket, basketball, volleyball, swimming, whatever. So I got involved in several sports, and I took a liking to hockey. I mean, those times, the equipment was all over the school.
I see.
For Achimota School.
Yeah.
So I took a liking to hockey, and somehow God gave me some gifts too. So I was good, such that when I was 16 years old, in Form 3, I was invited to the national team, to join the national team. So that's my first taste of national hockey. So I played the national team, captained the national junior team for the African Championships, played for the national team, captained the national team from 1983 to 1994, before I retired formally.
Wow.
Coached teams to the club championships, umpired, technical official. I'm still a technical official, even though I'm retiring this year officially. I officiated at the Commonwealth Games, at the World Hockey Championships. And then I was in administration, Greater Accra Hockey Association, and then Ghana Hockey Association member, vice president, president, and then I got involved in the GHOne.
Wow. In
2011 as Secretary General, and then for 8 years, and then I left. So the last 4 years, I've been out. So my life with sports has just been phenomenal.
Phenomenal, absolutely. Yeah. But let me ask you, since you've served on the board of the Ghana Olympic Committee, let me ask you, what really inspired you or motivated you to say, okay, this is the right time for me, this is the time that I think I should vie for this particular position?
Mainly because I want to give back. I mean, sports has been my life and contributed to most of the things I've achieved in life. And the only way you can give back is to be in administration, so that you give back to the athletes who are really, so the people who really motivate me every time are the athletes. I mean, when I was in hockey, I mean, it's a joy to see the young people training, doing all, sacrificing to get to the top, and see how you can help them.
Yeah.
And when there's victory at the end, you see the joy in their face. I mean, it makes you, it's better than anything you can think. So that's really what has kept me going. And that's what keeps me going. That we need to give back to the sport and make sports better. There are so many things we can do better.
Yeah.
Because there are challenges, of course, like everywhere else. But we can do some things better. And if we can do it better, and I think I have the capacity to do that, why not? I think I should do that.
All right.
A lot. And also, for some of us who've been with you for all this while and know what you have contributed with regards to sports. I know this is the second time you're vying to be the president. You did stand with Ben Mensah in his last term,
4 years
last
ago.
4 years ago, exactly. So, what didn't you do right to get the nod when you stood 4 years ago that you think you're doing right this time, or you've put in right this time, that you believe you can come up against Mike Aggrey to be voted as the next president?
I think the better question is, look, when we stood 4 years ago, Ben had been in office for 4 years. The delegates felt that he needed a further 4 years. And I respect that. So it wasn't about something I did right or wrong, but in my interaction with them, we got the impression that they wanted him for a further 4 years. So that was fair. And I didn't have a problem with that. I'm a sports person. So I respect competition and the outcomes of competitions. So I didn't have a problem with that. Currently, in my interaction with the federation president, the federation officials and everything, athletes and whatnot, I get the feeling that they think that it's time for me now to also take the position. And so it encourages me and motivates me to want to do more, because I believe that having tasted other people, they think that, okay, and having experienced me as a Secretary General for 8 years, they know me enough to know that I'm capable of doing a lot of things to make sports better in Ghana.
Okay. And Richie, also, what do you think are some of the challenges that, with regards to the Olympics? You've been a Secretary General. You've seen the likes of Mike Aggrey also coming even on board, who was on the board of the Olympics. What do you think you're going to do to put in place to ensure that when voted into office, most of the challenges that we hear, the hue and cry about lack of funds in preparations for the Olympic Games, is nipped in the bud?
Now, there are a few things which I think can be done better. The first thing is athlete involvement in what we do. We're supposed to have an athletes commission, because the IOC insists that athletes' voices must be heard.
Must be heard.
They are those who are really the people who are involved in the sport. We are not hearing their voices as much as we should in Ghana yet. So one of the first things we should do is organize in such that the athletes' voices are heard, not only at Congress and in the media, but in the boardroom where we have meetings to take decisions, in committees where we are planning to implement decisions, so their voices will be heard everywhere. So that's one of the first things I think we should do. Number two, for some reason, there seems to be some disunity among the federations.
Okay.
And when you are not united as one voice, when you go out there, you have problems. There's no sponsor who, when he reads about all kinds of challenges in the media with federations, would come to your aid. So we need to come as a united force. We must be one voice speaking for sports federations in Ghana. And one of my main aims is to make sure that there's that unity. We have one plan, and that's another thing we must do. We must all go sit down, all of us, frank with ourselves. What is it that we can do better? What are our challenges? Every federation. And then we draw a plan, a 4-year plan. So that, and the 4-year plan has clear KPIs. What do we want to achieve? Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. How do we achieve them? what is the budget attached to that plan? And then we are really implementing that. So that at every point in time, we are reviewing what we are doing and monitoring what we are doing, see what we can do better. Funding is one of the main problems of it. But one of the main reasons why funding is not available is because there is no country in the world that survives on a consolidated fund to fund sports fully. It doesn't happen anywhere. Even in rich countries like US, UK, Australia, South Africa, the government cannot fully sponsor sports. So you need support from other places. What I think we can do better, and which will make us be able to get, I don't call it sponsorship, I prefer to call them partnerships. Because we want people who partner us from now till 2028 Olympics. Clearly, what is our plan? Our plan is this: 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our plan. This is what we want to achieve in athletics, in boxing, in karate-do, in hockey, in rugby, in weightlifting, in whatever sport. This is our plan. What do you think you can do to support us? You can choose a particular sport, or you want to do for general thing for everybody. That's fine. But we want to do it in such a way that we are prioritizing what we are doing, because there's no, endless source of resources.
Exactly.
So what we want to do is such that when we do it, who are those who are likely to qualify for the Olympics based on performance in the past and based upon what they are doing now?
Currently.
If there are athletes who have not won African championships, the likelihood of them getting far at the Olympics is
very
slim.
slim.
So the first thing is that the African championships, we must make sure that we are doing well there. Then when we are pushing further. We want to travel with the athletes. If God willing, I'm elected, by the end of the year, the plan will all be sorted out, everything. So that from next year, every athlete who has a dream of going to the Olympics will know from their federations that this is what we are going to do. How much would, let me give you a typical example. Athletics, Rose Yeboah.
Yeah.
The high jumper.
Amwenua.
Yeah. She's the high jumper. She did what, 1.97?
Yeah, 1.97.
Yeah.
That's that mark could have won a medal at the Olympics.
At the Olympics.
So that tells you that that kind of person, we should start accompanying her from now. You don't leave anything to chance. Her training, coaching, medical, diet, competition. She must be assured that from now till LA Olympics, she doesn't need to worry about anything. All she needs to do is train and train and train. That is the way we want to operate. And if we're able to do that for all the people who are able to get to that level in boxing, in athletics, like the 4x100 relay team, those who have achieved it already, it's easy to really work with them. Those who can also do it in karate-do, in taekwondo, in fencing, we also accompany them. First of all, to make sure that we reach the mark in Africa, but eventually it's to get to LA 2020. So for me, there are several things that we can do, but the main thing is that we need to plan. We cannot, it's not by chance. It doesn't happen. Already we are late because UK Sports distributed their resources to federations immediately after
the Olympics in Paris.
Clearly, every sport knew how much they were entitled to. So that if what you are getting from that kitty is not enough, then you know what you're going to do yourself to get more to support what you're going to do. So every athlete has a plan already. The athlete must plan from now to 2028. He must know the competitions they want to take part in and that kind of thing. So planning is key. And then when you plan, you can go. So when I come to GHOne, I say, look, this is what we have. What can you offer us, which will take us, if it's media, whatever, which can take us to make sure that we're able to get to the Olympics? Because at the end of the day, everyone wants success. If we get to the Olympics and the athletes, we're able to send the athletes, and even if they don't get a medal, but you see the athletes in finals and performing, and the whole country excited, then GHOne would say, that, look, we accompanied this athlete.
Particular athlete
from the playground.
To the tartan tracks.
That is the kind of thinking, you see. And that's the kind of thing I think we should do. Because if we don't do it that way, we don't plan, we will not succeed. We need to go to the corporate world. And there are several companies that have resources that they can spare. There are challenges, true. Companies are not profit is not, but there are still institutions and companies that can't support. But they have gone past those days where you just write a letter and say, I want sponsorship, and then exam. No.
Yeah, we've gone past that stage.
They need to know where is the money going to. They need to be assured of that. And one of the things which we want to also introduce is complete transparency. If you are giving us money, if it is $100,000 a year, I don't want you to give me that money and say it's in my account so that maybe something will happen to you and you will not be happy with it. Put that money, we can open a escrow, whatever, account, wherever. And you will have control over that money, the two of us. So when we are going to a tournament, athletes are going to it, and we're going to buy tickets, we just sign a check straight to the travel agency or to the airline. And then we issue. The money is not going to come to our account so that you think that we're going to use it. We want the people to trust the process, that we need the money for the athletes. If the athlete has a medical problem, the money goes directly to the hospital or whoever is doing that. So these are the things I think when we do, we'll be trusted, transparency, accountability. Then people will then say, then we will journey with you for the next 3-4 years. And then when we do that, together we'll see results. And all of us will be happy. LA Olympics, Ghana all over the place. Our jerseys all over the place. Everybody in Ghana jersey around the town. So those are the sort of things that we are thinking about.
Now, Mr. Akpokavie, talking about standing with the other or sporting discipline, various sporting disciplines. Now, it's been quite like the normal thing, boxing, you have track and field, which is the athletes. These are the kind of only set of athletes that we always represent at the Olympics. In your tenure, if you become the president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, how do you hope to influence or inspire, whatever you want to do, to get other sports also involved, to be able to qualify them to the Olympics? And also, adding this one, boxing, we failed to qualify to the Olympics. What will you do? Because still, I can't see any progress. I've been following boxing, though they are having their leagues, other competitions going on. But what will you do when you come into power to make sure this time around boxing is qualified and other sports are also coming into contention to be part of the Olympic
Just a little
team?
Correction. Apart from track and field and boxing, over the last 3 Olympics, we've had swimming.
Swimming is part. That's why I said few.
Very few.
Just few.
Judo, and we also had weightlifting. Yes, but the main thing is that the boxing, one of the problems I think we had with boxing the last time is that if you read the literature, I mean the media, over the last 4 years before the Paris Olympics, they were always complaining. I mean, shot comes here, shot comes there. That does not, that's why I said that you must accompany the athletes for a long period, 3 years. Focused. Because the athlete, if you come for camp one month, you come book home 1 month, and you go, so you don't control what he eats, you don't control whether he trains properly or not. But if you have a system in place so that that athlete is monitored for 2 years and more, then you know that the athlete will deliver. Because the athlete himself has to believe that he wants to achieve that. So it is a holistic thing that we need to work at. The important thing is, as you said, we need to work with them gradually. We may not get all of them there in 2028, but if we do it right and we start well, we'll get some of them there in 2028 and the others there in 2032. That is the way. It must be long term. It's not short term. There's no, anybody who tells you that short term, Olympic is short term plan, it's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true. So I will not go and tell somebody that, or tell the public, or tell delegates, oh, when I can win a medal for no. What I'll tell you is that if you are an institution, a company, and you are going to promise us a gold medal, that you give us 100,000 when we win a gold medal, what I'll tell you is that I'm happy you are saying that. But what I want you to do is that, give me that 100,000 now. Let me train the athlete and prepare the athlete to that. So when we get there, even if you're not able to give the athlete anything, the athlete will be very happy that he has an Olympic medal around his neck. That is the thing we should. This idea of, oh, when you win, it doesn't work. When you don't prepare the athlete. So the preparation is key. Focused preparation.
Okay, Mr. Akpokavie, before we wrap up also, one key thing that I was discussing this with one of the athletes, has to do with their diet. Do we seem to carry the same kind of dietary plan from, let's say, Ghana into maybe going to Paris, and obviously, does it affect them in any way?
It does.
So, what's the plan, especially for
one of the
that
things that we tried to do in the past, which we haven't done well, is to get a dietitian.
A dietitian to be with the team.
So the dietitian plans with the Ghanaian foods we are very
familiar
with, but it doesn't leave you to do whatever you want to do.
I hope you don't put gari and kenke.
They don't always do.
No, please come in. The Ghanaian dishes doesn't help them to do what they have to do?
No, it does. It depends on the quantity
Yeah.
and the kind of... Look, we can have only Ghanaian dishes which are very healthy and which will take them. But you need to plan it with the athletes because athletes, by nature, somebody who likes fufu, so he wants to eat fufu every day. You must let the athlete understand that, yes...
Yeah, fufu before relay.
There are issues with that. So, but it's one thing I wanted to also say. One of the things I really want to do is to make sure that football qualifies for the next Olympics.
Wow,
that's one of the things I mean to have discussions with
GFA
that football qualifies for the next Olympics, and that one also if GFA and GOC work together, there's no reason why we can't do that.
But how's the relationship been like between GOC, GFA, i.e. the Ministry of Sports as well?
It's always been good. There have been challenges, but of course, right now there are new people in all these, the ministry, the NSA. Luckily for us, the NSA is someone who's part of our federation, so he's familiar with what we do. The minister is new, but he listens, he's learning very fast. So the GFA, we have a good relationship with the GFA. You know, the treasurer was treasurer, and I know that their general secretary is also standing for elections this time.
Sure.
So it's good, and that is what is important, because when we work together as a team, we are powerful. The only voice in Ghana sports. There's no reason why the president, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Sports will not listen to us. If we come with a plan, with one voice, this is what we think can be done to achieve, so that the objectives of His Excellency the President in his manifesto would be achieved. After all, the President will be happy that all the things he set in his manifesto to achieve by 4 years' time are done. So we are ready. We are the people who will achieve that for him. So we must work together with the ministry and the presidency to be able to achieve that.
Working together. Now, just lastly before you go, let me ask you just this in a second, maybe your answer. Are there divisions in the various federations?
You mean among the federations or between federations?
And the GOC?
There are always, I won't say divisions, but there are always issues, challenges. People are not, someone may not be happy with something, they'll voice it, but those things happen. My real desire is that it's unity in diversity. Monica, there's no reason why, if as human beings we disagree with our siblings, it doesn't make us less siblings.
Yeah.
So we must all learn that even as we disagree, because before we agree, we must all share our ideas. If God wanted us to have one mind, He would have created us this way. He would have given us all one. Like by now, we're all in the same shirt, same dress. But it doesn't happen like that.
Even twins have different minds.
And that's what brings the beauty of our diversity. And when we do that and harness all those resources, one mind, so that when we are dealing with sports, even if we are divided in terms of what we think, once we agree on what we want to do, we are all on the same one. And that's the thing I really want to achieve. And if I do that, I would have said that I've achieved my aim.
Wow.
That's
Mr. Richard Akpokavie, interesting conversations here.
So wherever you're watching us from, we are actually interacting with an aspirant for the president's position, or for the presidency of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Mr. Richard Akpokavie, popularly known as Richie. Those of you who've been following hockey a lot, you know how we call him Richie. He's played hockey, he's seen it all, he's been an administrator when it comes to hockey. I've traveled with him quite for a long while also. Unfortunately, we lost one of our brothers. May he still rest in peace. Akpokavie. Anyway, so Richie... But
maybe his final words.
Exactly, that's what I want to find out from Richie. Richie,
this time around we are reasoning the same.
We asked Mike Agre here, and I want to ask you also. Do you think Mike Agre will be a tough opponent for you?
Everybody is a tough opponent, Joel. my little experience about elections is that there's no small elections.
Yeah.
Every election is serious. And as a sports person, when I go into a competition, it's always serious because like Real Madrid think that they've won already. They will be shocked to come to the Bernabeu, their own home ground, and see that Arsenal is determined and focused to compete. That is what competition is about.
Sure.
So there's no small competition. I mean, Mike was president of golf and now was on the board. So he also has his base.
Definitely.
And he knows what he also can do. So there's no reason why I should consider him as, like, it's a very competitive thing we are doing. And I'm focused. That's why I'm reaching every delegate possible. There will be 66 people who will vote, God willing. If all of them come and vote, I've reached every one of them to get them to understand that, look, they should vote for me because I believe that with my experience and what I've done in sports, I believe I'm the best person now at this time to lead the GOC and sports in Ghana.
Okay, so Richie, and also someone says I should ask you, there's this phrase, fear delegates. 66 delegates. Do you think these 66 delegates, if they should all be present, are convinced enough that indeed Richie is the person to go with?
I'm more than sure that most of them believe that I'm the right person at this time. And this idea of fear, everybody fear everybody.
Exactly.
But the issue is that it depends on how you relate to the people, the kind of vibes you get from the people. It is when the elections the general elections last time, everybody was confident they would win.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, one person
Fear
won.
delegates.
Yes. Because everybody prepares. But in my preparation, I'm sure that I've reached the delegates and they've heard my message and they are clear that I'm the best person to lead the GOC at this time.
So there you had.
So after the elections, I'll come here and share my joy with you all.
You have to.
Especially after Arsenal is in the semi-final.
No. Real Madrid in the semi-final.
but anyway, Richie, we would also love to have you here. I don't know your schedule though, but hopefully next week we're trying to have a roundtable discussion. I know you think about it.
Yes.
We want to have all of you here. We'll try and make time. So that there's a special request we're putting before our management. So when they do give us the go-ahead, we'll get all of you in the studio to just share your vision to our viewers, our listeners, as well as those who've been following Ghana Olympic and want to see us on the podium once again. So yeah.
Well, as you said, we'll look at it because as you know, at this
I
time
know.
there are several competing.
I know, right?
And so there are some you have to also cover before.
I get it.
True.
But we'll see what we can do.
Hopefully we'll see you again here in the studios, and you viewers, listeners, I
If
know.
nothing at all, this evening, I'll call you, Joe.
You have to.
and ask you how Monica
Real
is,
Madrid,
The opposition is strong, though.
how she's feeling, whether her temperature has gone high or well, just to find out.
We are closing the Bernabeu.
you can close it.